all started when me and my friend Vanessa decided to do something fun after our exams ended. Vanessa and I wanted to do something different, something that would give us a good laugh. We decided to have an Omegle prank. We gathered popcorns, put on some weird costumes, and even had a few drinks to add to the fun. Our excitement was palpable. The anticipation of what the night had in store for us was making us giddy. We couldn't wait to see the reactions of strangers we'd meet on Omegle, and the fun of it was all infectious. We were high in spirits, laughing and joking around as we connected with strangers on Omegle. It was harmless fun, or so we thought. That's when we came across this one guy who seemed a bit off. He started talking to us, and things quickly took a dark turn. His messages were chilling, words that seemed to crawl under our skin. He told us that if we didn't give him our phone numbers, he'd come to our house. The threats hanging in the air like a specter of terror. We thought it was just a sick joke, but the guy's tone and demeanor were too unsettling to brush off. In a panic, we disconnected from the chat and quickly unplugged our Wi-Fi. The room was filled with heavy silence, a palpable tension that was almost suffocating. We sat there, hearts pounding, trying to process what had just happened. We thought we were safe now that we'd cut off contact with him, but his words still echoed in our minds. But then, about an hour later, we heard it, loud, echoing bangs on the front door that jolted us from our uneasy stillness. Vanessa and I exchanged terrified glances, the reality of our situation crashing over us in waves. We had no idea who this guy was or how he'd found us. We knew we had to hide, to make ourselves as invisible as possible. We crawled into my bed, our hearts racing, barely daring to breathe. The banging continued, each thud sending shockwaves through our bodies. We were scared out of our minds, praying that it was just some sick prank and that stranger would give up and leave us be. Then the guy moved to the window and started babbling nonsense. It was like he was taunting us. He sounded deranged, and his ramblings were incomprehensible. We were paralyzed, unable to do anything but cower in our hiding spot, the fear nearly suffocating us. Vanessa managed to pull herself together and called the police, her voice trembling as she relayed our desperate situation. It felt like an eternity as we waited for them to arrive. Every second felt like an hour, the relentless pounding on the door growing louder and more menacing. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the police arrived. They apprehended the guy and took him away, his wild eyes fixed on us until the very end. It was a sigh of relief, but our hearts were still pounding and the terror lingered in our minds, a dark cloud that refused to dissipate. After an investigation, we learned that horrifying truth about the man who had haunted our night. This guy had a history of violence, and he'd even killed an elderly woman before targeting us. It was a sobering realization that danger could lurk behind any screen, a stark reminder of the world's capacity for darkness. From that day on, Vanessa and I swore off Omegle and any similar platforms. The trauma of that day stayed with us, a constant reminder of darkness that can seep into even the most innocent of online interactions. The fear of the unknown had left us traumatized, a cautionary tale about the danger that can lurk in the virtual world.